Okay, we'll take questions in the room for Coach Joe Judge.
Joe, what news came down today? If Trinidad is back next year, if he gets that waiver, he'll be Ole Miss's quarterback. You have a very special relationship with him. How have you seen him grow? And now that news, how significant is that? Because y'all have been waiting just to, for that strategic piece for recruiting and stuff, I'm sure, in the portal.
Oh, it's huge news for everybody. I mean, he's a huge part of this university right now. He's a huge part of this team. He's a key focal point. And what he's done for all of college football really has been tremendous. I mean, you watch those guys, the entire state of New Orleans the other day in powder blue, and Trinidad flags everywhere. I mean, how cool is that? You know what I mean? So obviously this kid's brought a whole lot to the university, to the town, but to college football as a whole. In terms of his growth, I mean, everything from the physical on the field and the development of the skill level and fundamentals to the mental off the field and the understanding conceptually of the defenses and what they're trying to do, why the coordinator's calling things a certain way. He's done a great job of really learning that. And that just comes from time and work you have to put in. There's no shortcut to that. And he's a guy that's here early, stays late. He's a junkie with the film, which is absolutely the best kind of quarterback you can have. And he's done a great job asking all the right questions and really staying on it to really go ahead and fine-tune his craft. And he's making a lot of progress in the position.
Coach, the last drive of the game, you the running play with Lacey and then the pass to Stribling. I'd love to get kind of the office view of kind of how that went into the progression there.
No, it was great. I mean, they had 3 timeouts right there, so we're in a situation that there's enough time that you get in position to win the game or to win the game yourself, right? There's also enough time that if you don't convert the first down and they use their timeouts, you might be punting back to them and they're in position to win the game. So you've got to balance that out in terms of, do you want to go ahead and throw the ball 3 times, run the ball multiple times, get them past some of their timeouts? How do you want to approach that there? So, we had some checks on the line of scrimmage that Charlie saw some things up top that he was able to put us in the right play. Really got the drive just going with Keywan right there. And then we talked last week. You guys asked about the second time you play a team, what's it really come down to? We talked about matchups, right? And we saw a matchup we really liked in there with Stribling. We know it was a route that he can go ahead and win on. He's been playing at a very, very high level, all right, the entire season, but especially his back end of the year has really been highlighted very much. And he's a guy right now it's just very tough to go ahead and cover one-on-one. So when it came up, Charlie got us into the right call, used the right matchup. Trin gave him a ball and Strib did a heck of a job making a big play and catch. And then at that point, it was just about how we managed the time best to give Lucas a chance to go out there and knock it through the uprights.
From an offensive standpoint, how helpful is it to have a guy like Trinidad that can make something out of nothing, especially with his legs? I kind of just think about those 2 Georgia plays. He's being chased, and he has find key one out of nothing. Like, how helpful it is to have a guy that when the play call does blow up, he can still make something happen for the team.
Yeah, look, it's about players and obviously how they can execute on the field. So you can draw up the perfect play, but it's all about how the players play it. I mean, he had that one drive where he blacked out, right? I mean, it was like, 3-4 plays in a row going to 2-point conversion where, he's just running around like a madman making things happen. Extending plays, finding guys at the last second, converting first downs, hitting the big chunk play to trade down the field. So, that's all about the players. That's about, his skill set, his athleticism, his ability to go out there and, improvise and make something happen. You always want guys that are athletes out there, right? It's sports. So it's the reason coaches aren't out there playing. We're here drinking coffee and, eating potato chips. Those guys got to be the athletes out there making the plays. And, Trin the other night, what he's able to do with his legs to extend the play, but then finish it with his arm and his vision, his instincts, that was tremendous.
I watched all 4 of the quarterfinal games, and I thought Miami defense may have been the most physical of all 8 teams. Did you guys see that and agree with that?
They're extremely physical. This is a team that really, Mario's a physical guy, and his team has taken on his character and his values of being a tough, physical, in-your-face type of team. What they do a tremendous job of is they've got enough variety on both sides of the ball to give you issues. But it's simple enough in what they ask their players to do that they're not going to confuse them. There's schematically differences, but this reminds me very much of like those great Seattle Seahawks teams that you don't have to go out there and try and confuse them because whatever you do, all right, they've seen 1,000 times. They know how to cover the routes. They know how to match the things. They know what's coming their way. They don't do too much that they're going to be confused when you present them something different. But they get off. They play fast. They're very good up front. Their defensive tackles, and especially those defensive ends, they're an issue you got to deal with. They got a lot of speed on the back end. They bring a right amount of pressure with the right guys. They know how to mix it up. They do a really good job adjusting who's bringing the blitz on the motion. They're coached very, very well. And you can go back to just watching the Minnesota tape last year from the defense coordinator, and it's a lot of similarities in what he's done structurally, but he's gotten these guys doing it at a very, very high level, very fast as far as taking over down in Miami.
Kind of got lost a little bit, but on one of Trinidad's big plays where he put his heels on the, his own end zone, found Kiwan. There's Bryson Sanders who comes in, who's had a great year and makes a really smart football play, did the penalty. Speak about him specifically, how he's come along in that play, the heads-up nature of it to be able to do it that way.
Well, Bryson's outstanding. He's done a great job of really being a leader from day one. At that center position, you have to have somebody who is a signal caller who can go ahead and get everyone lined up. But to do that, you also have leadership. You have to be someone who can get the guys together to watch the tape, to get everyone on the same page, and he does a great job of that. That's a great example of a vet guy right there making a very smart play in a critical moment. That's a play that we were talking about the other day that, hey, you go 8-10 years back in football, you're looking to decleat him and everyone's high-fiving. Now it's a penalty, it's an ejection. At another level, it's a fine. So we teach right there in those situations, blindside blocks, it's capture, don't kill, right? You want to have a save it block in terms of, I've just got to set a moving pick like you would in basketball to get my guy on past him. I'm not looking to knock him out of the game. And in a lot of ways, that's not really what the game needs to be anyway, right? It's not about cheap shots. It's about looking the guy in the eye and, win the physical matchup that way. But Bryson making that decision at that moment in time was a great example of taking things we've talked about in meetings and applying them on the field at the right moment. Because when the heat of the moment's up, right, you got to make a good emotional decision. And he did a great job in that moment of not doing something selfish and taking a shot on somebody and really protected the team by making the right decision.
How do you combat that level of physicality that Miami brings?
Well, we got to be a physical team yourself. And we've played all year to be a fast, physical, fundamentally sound team, and that's what Coach Golding's building here, and we're continue trying to do our best to do that.
Okay, we'll take, we've got a few minutes for questions on Zoom. Please raise your hand, I will call on you. Luke Cheney, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. When you look at Miami's pass rush, what do you identify as some of the, keys you could say for your offense in trying to neutralize, what is obviously a very talented pass rush?
Well, you've got to handle the element of the speed and the strength. They do a great job of getting off, especially if they know it's a passing situation, and they've got the element of either trying to get on your edge and beat you with speed to the quarterback to the spot, or they have the ability to bull rush you, drop their weight, put their hands in your chest, and really compress that pocket, especially from the offense's right side, and really go ahead and get in the quarterback's face and make him uncomfortable. So you've got to go ahead and play physical and really set your weight down right there and just win the matchup. You have to do a good job of mixing offensively the concepts you're going to use to be able to get the ball out fast, quick, and find spots.
Karis Chambliss.
Coach, I know you said that the Sugar Bowl was a business trip, but are there any moments from the trip that stand out to you as ones you'll never forget, either on or off the field?
There's a lot from that trip, absolutely. I'd say notably game day, driving to the stadium. I've been in New Orleans many times for games, playing against different teams down there, LSU when I was in another place, the Saints many times. I've never seen any color represented like I saw powder just driving to the stadium. And that's when we all kind of realized, like, hey, this is going to be a home game for us. And that was outstanding. And the fans were awesome. And then after the game, how the fans stayed there until the team left, and then were there even longer than that, but they were doing the chants, and they were cheering, and it was so cool. I don't think anyone's going to forget the stage going on the field 3 times. That's just kind of a tidbit to it right there that we laugh about a little bit. But it was to our advantage. They kept the stage out there when we were already, celebrating and lost headsets and had to get 11 guys on the field to make sure we did the right thing. There's a lot of things that are memorable about it. We'll kind of take time to, step back and think about that after the season. Right now, we're focused on Miami. But, the atmosphere that the fans created and the state of Mississippi created down there in New Orleans is very, very special.
Okay, we have time for maybe one last question on Zoom. If anyone else has one last question, please raise your hand. Okay, no questions. That'll be it. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.